Hi, this is a science question instead of a mathematics question. The reason I'm doing it is because I often see parents and students struggling to understand the answer and the solution provided by others on the internet. So I thought it would be good and beneficial for me to share what I know about this question. Okay, so the typical science questions will look like this. You will have a light source. It could be a torchlight, it could be a bulb or anything. Okay, then you will have two object A and object B. So usually object A and object B will have a hole um, right in the middle. Okay, then at the end you have a screen. Then the question will ask you the shapes of the screen, how do they look like, whether this thing that cast here, um, how is the shadow and so on. Okay, and typically there's three types of object. It's usually a circle, a square, and a triangle. And the dimension given are usually they have the same dimension. So for example, for if a circle is a 3 centimeter diameter, for a square is 3 centimeter by 3 centimeter, and for a triangle is 3 centimeter for the base and 3 centimeter for the height. Okay, so let's look at what happens if we put circle as object A and square as object B and so on. And I will show you how does it show on the screen. Okay, so with that, then it's helpful when you explain your child the science question. Okay, so look at the first combination. What happens if I put a square and a circle together? Okay, so in this case, when I put square, a circle square means that object A is the circle, object B is the square. Okay, so when the lights go through object A, which is the circle, okay, basically the circle will block out, okay, all the light except the circle here, the light can pass through. Okay, when you reach the square, okay, when you reach the square, it doesn't make a difference because this circle lies exactly on the side of the square. So when light will just everything pass through and it will cast a bright yellow spots on the screen. Of course, the side here will be all shadow. Okay. If you put a square then followed by a circle, does it make a difference? So the lights will pass through 100% on through the square opening, but when he reach the circle, okay, the lights will be blocked. At this corner here, it will be blocked. So it will end up the same shape. So we used to say that whether you put the square first or the circle first, it doesn't really make a difference. Both will give you the same shape. Okay, now let's look at combination number 2. Combination number 2 is a triangle followed by a square. Okay, so same thing, I show you the difference between triangle first, then square, or square first, then triangle. Okay, so if I have a triangle first, okay, the triangle will block all the light except the triangle shapes. Okay, the light will pass through. Okay, when you reach the square, it doesn't make a difference because the triangle already blocked all the lights, and the tip of this triangle, the height of this triangle actually touches the side of the square. So there's no change in the shape. So you still get a triangle, bright triangle on the screen. Of course, these are all black shadow. If you put a square first followed by a triangle, the lights will pass through the square. But when you reach the triangle part, it will be blocked. Okay, it will be blocked. So ended up, you still get a triangle shape. So same thing whether you put triangle first followed by square or square first followed by triangle, it doesn't make a difference. You will still get a triangle shape. Combination number 3. Now what happens if I put a circle and a triangle? Okay, so this is interesting. Okay, so if I put a circle first, remember the circle, the light will pass through the circle. But when he reached the triangle, this part will be blocked. So it ended up, it's like a bell shape. Okay, so what you see is a shadow. It's a bright light here. Then of course this black are the shadow. So this is what will be cast on the screen. Okay. Similarly, If I put the triangle first, then followed by the circle, so the triangle will allow the whole triangle light to pass through. But when you reach the circle part, this part will be chopped off. So you end up having the bell shape. So this is the three combination. Then the question you ask will be, what happens if I put everything together? So this is how it looks like. If I combine everything together, remember the square in this case, it doesn't really affect the circle and the triangle because they are touching the side of it. So the square actually did not block any lights. Okay. So the only one that caused the shape is actually the circle and the triangle, which end up you get this shape. Okay. So I hope this video is useful to you. This is the only science question that I'll be doing, and I hope it helps your son or your child to understand it better. If you like such video, do let me know. Thank you.